the city of Quyaz. I took this strictly for the purpose of defending it, and the Valandian forces have arrived. It looks like multiple armies, in fact. So we'll take a look here. Of course, our army is, I would say, it's an average army for a mid to early game campaign. We have a mix of different characters. I better go ahead and do this part. Welcome back again to Tactical Enlightenment. Our YouTube channel is dedicated to all things Bannerlord related. In fact, I think there's 3 Valandian forces here. No upgrades to do. So I took this city because someone said, hey, would you do a city defense of Quyaz? And the answer is absolutely, I'll do a defense of Quyaz. We are using our practice game, campaign saved game, so to speak. They've got some master archers in here. I dumped a little garrison in here. Took it knowing either the Aserai Valandians or the Western Empire would fight us. And here we go, right? We will do a defensive Quyaz. Of course, all sieges, normal player damage. And we'll see what we can do here. We've got our 600 troops with the militia, including the militia, rather. And we'll see. Now, I've walked around this city, and I fucking hate it. So no offense to the fella who wants to see us defend this, but this is not going to be easy at all. Not to mention there's a huge Valandian force here. This is going to be very difficult. So they have a siege tower over here on the right. We can get archers behind it. Of course, most sieges where you're outnumbered 4 to 1 like this, you don't want to put archers on the wall. My threshold is about 2.5 to 3 to 1. If you're outnumbered 2 to 1, you can leave archers on the wall. But if you're outnumbered 5 to 1, 6 to 1, forget it. They'll just get smoked. So spend a second here, a few seconds here at the beginning of this battle, just kind of explaining what I'm doing here. Of course, we're assigning captains to different roles. This is a vital part. I know guys are sort of subjected to this. I'm sure some guys are irritated, but I've got other guys who say they want to see this because they want to understand what my thought process is for assigning group captains in Siege. And obviously most of this is common sense, but it's dynamic, right? We have 8 different divisions. You can see I have a combo division of infantry and archers in the 6th. The 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are all infantry, although a lot of times I will make the 4th a hybrid division as well. And then the rest of it is assigning captains that'll help them in the role that I have anticipated for them. I just noticed I have a lot of troops on the battlefield, and that's because I'm still, and this is sort of an accident, I hadn't intended on this. This is the battle size mod. So the enemy, you can see, has a gigantic amount of troops out there. That means 2,000 units are on the battlefield right now. The enemy probably has like 1,500, maybe 1,600, and we have, you know, our whole force here. Let's see, 120. It looks like we have over 400 on the battlefield, right? So that's definitely going to help us defend. These guys are like in a mosh pit. I can keep making a mosh pit over and over again. Just put them here. They're like, and I don't think that fall damage counts, by the way. I think every time they fall, they come out fully healthy. I'm just trying to get that infantry division there because we're going to try to block and choke that side, right? That's where the siege tower is. So these guys here, a lot of strong units. That siege tower will probably arrive. In fact, I'm going to encourage it to arrive in sieges like this. What I try to do is make them kind of as hard as possible. I always get some comments. Guys are like, hey, dipshit, destroy the siege tower, destroy the ram, and the siege gets easier. Well, it's not always possible to do that. And so what I like to do with these sieges is it's not always intentional. Sometimes it just happens. But I like to allow the enemy to reach a siege tower to the wall, right? Maybe not both, but we want to give the enemy some better chance of succeeding here, because without that, oftentimes, of course, even against moderately competent tactics, the enemy has no chance. So we'll let them get a siege tower there. So the 1st, 4th, the 4th guarding over here on the right. There's a lot of mixed troops in here that I'm not thrilled about. I would love to have a lot more shock troops in my 3rd division. So I'm just kind of tinkering with these units. See, that's better. I want more shields up there. If you have shock troops on the wall, these guys are fucking dead men. That's even better. They're lower level troops because I want higher level guys at the gate. Now the 3rd Corps, which is my attack dog division, they're mostly shock troops, right? And so I'm going to use those guys aggressively in shock. We've got a 2nd division full of skirmishers. The 6th is a mix. So I've got archers and skirmishers right there. Now, there's not a lot of room in the courtyard here, so we're going to do the best we can. What we're going to do is we're going to spread out archers in a big spray like this, right? That way they can shoot at the guys on the walls. And then, of course, we're going to get another division. Look at these guys. They're hiding behind the baskets. And then we'll be able to get another division right here overlooking the wall. These I consider to be essential steps in keep defense. Now you can see all of those guys in the 8th Corps can shoot the guys coming in the courtyard. Over here, similarly, I think we'll do the 7th. It's a lot. This is too small of a platform. These guys are really crowded, but it's okay still because a lot of these guys are still going to be shooting. They're going to be firing away at the enemy as they come up on the walls. Of course, I wish the spreading system was better. That's a little better, but you see those guys on the right here are vulnerable to the ladder. All right, I think this is about ready. I've actually spent more time than I typically want to for siege setup. I apologize if you guys are aggravated at this stage, but some guys really want to see this. And I have not defended Quyaz Castle before, or Quyaz City, not in a campaign. At least I don't think so. Maybe I have, and I just forgot. But this castle layout or city layout, I believe, is unique, and so we're gonna show most of the steps here. I like to look around, right? You lay out everything at the beginning, and like a painter, I like to come in afterwards and make sure that I like to take a step back like a painter and be like, okay, things are where I want them to be. This is suboptimal here. Not only do I need to go through there, but these guys are getting shot. So let's get them... I could just have them stop right here, but then they're in my way still. This shit just ain't gonna work. So let's get these guys, let's just shove them down here. I'm gonna be using these guys up here, but not yet, right? Early on here, we wanna... Okay, so I can't stop the catapults from shooting. Out of my way, motherfuckers. But we can control at least where this fire thing is going, right? Of course, if I wanted to, I can destroy this tower. And a lot of people will be like, oh, just destroy the tower. At the same time, though, that's going to make this keep siege way too easy, I think. So I'm going to try not to, right? I may accidentally destroy it. But in this case, I'm just going to try to cause some damage to the enemy first. And then we'll do our best Kobe Bryant impersonation and flame. I guess maybe that's the wrong analogy with a guy who died in a flaming helicopter crash. We're going to do our best, LeBron James imitation and do some layups here and fire some fireballs down on the enemy. Okay, that siege tower, I think it'll make it. Maybe they're going to hit it point blank. They just smoked it point blank. So it's almost down. I'm actually rooting for it. I know, again, that seems strange, but this is an exhibition. Of course, if you were playing this for your life in a campaign, you just blow up that siege tower and this whole keep siege becomes easier. Here, we're going to try to allow the enemy access to all three sides, right? Or all three locations, the ram, the ladder, and the siege tower. And I think it made it over there. They're starting to storm it. That's a good sign. So you'll have to forgive the fact that, the guys that are like, just destroy it. I understand, fellas. What we're doing here is intentionally creating a harder siege. All right, so we're going to imitate LeBron James, or pick your athlete here. Pick your sports athlete here. We're going to do the easy thing here and just do a layup or bunt or whatever, and kill dozens of Landians before they even get inside our city. Now, some people might say, well, don't do that then. If you want a harder siege, don't throw these fireballs. I'm trying to find a balance, right? This is something that every single person in every siege should be able to do. At the same time, though, there are plenty of sieges where you will try to destroy a siege tower and you fail. And when that happens, what I find is it's worse, because instead of killing a lot of troops, or targeting some other portion of the enemy, you spend a bunch of time trying to destroy the siege tower, and they still get it up to the walls, and so you've now sort of wasted time on that objective. Whereas these fireballs should be present and usable in every siege for you fellas. Now, I should mention this. I believe you need 150 siege for your siege engineer for these fireballs to be available. Otherwise, you don't get them, right? You get standard little stone catapults that don't do shit for damage. All right, so let's do a little bit of gate work here, right? We blew up a bunch of guy on the siege ladder side. Let's go down and micromanage our fellas a little bit here, help them out a little bit. They still got guys pouring up these ladders here, but the gate is what I'm concerned about, right? The enemy by far is going to get the most amount of troops into your citadel from the gate. The next biggest threat is the siege tower, hence the discussion about destroying it. But let's take a look at this front gate here and see what it looks like. It's a really quiet stage of the battle. It's kind of strange. A lot of these guys aren't shooting. I don't see anybody throwing javelins, but I think that will change. The Valandians had a giant force here. Now this skirmisher division is just standing here, right? A lot of these guys are out of javelins, so we'll be charging with them. This 6th division is kind of oddly positioned. Oh shit, I'm hitting our guys as usual. Fortunately, we're so weak we don't kill anybody. This is not like Zuvan who just one-shots everybody. But the tactics are still present. That's the beautiful part about being a tactician. The guys who come to the channel here to get better at tactics, I think you benefit more from this than learning how to swing your axe or whatever. Maybe there's other things that you need to learn in Bannerlord, of course. Party management. If you want a smith, you need a guide for that and stuff like that. Well, you don't need a guide, but it helps. But tactics are universal, right? Unless you're the guy who doesn't play battles. And then, of course, I don't know why you would play Bannerlord. Battles are the main reason to play Bannerlord. The battle system is outstanding, even if the AI is mediocre. But tactics are universal, right? With my level 5 character, we were still flanking people with our looters and recruits and whatnot, because tactics, they just span the entire gamut of use, right? We're starting to get blown up here at the gate, but we've got savage crossfire. You can see all these guys right next to me are just firing away. And I've got this 3rd division clogging the stairway here, so the enemy cannot get up here. And at a minimum, this is a neutral trade for us, even though they're pouring through the gate. I'm out of javelins, but there may be stones up there I can throw. And of course, I can continue to position archers in a manner that's crossfire. Like right over the top here, I can actually get archers and fire down on the enemy. This is, of course, how these keeps are designed to be defended. So we'll see. At some point in the battle, I may use our infantry in squares, move them back, and then cause major damage to the enemy that way. Now, of course, this is another universal thing, right? When the enemy's jammed up in the gatehouse, you simply level up a massive amount of points by raining these rocks down. Now, something that I didn't know, and I got a nice tip during my campaign, my practice campaign run. Someone said, I apologize, I don't always remember every single name on the channel. There's 11,000 subscribers. But this fella said one of the best things you can do as a mercenary is by yourself join sieges, especially sieges, see we're gaining levels, especially sieges that you're likely to win. And then he says, just do this, right? Just fire rocks down. He says you gain massive amounts of money, of course, because you're killing tons of troops. And, of course, your engineering skill, everything else is going up, 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 and up. And that's a really good tip. I can imagine, obviously, you don't have any troops for that situation, a mercenary. Otherwise, I think you don't get as much benefit from it. But by yourself, if you kill 150, 200 guys in a siege, as a mercenary, you get a huge amount of gold for that. And of course, the siege is a great opportunity to do that pretty safely. Maybe not this kind of siege, right? We're still hugely outnumbered here. It's almost too easy. I thought this was going to be a lot harder. We've got the gate bottled up beautifully. The enemy seems to have ignored their siege ladder. Yeah, not the siege tower, but the siege ladders on the other side. I might experiment here and just make this harder for the purpose of demonstration, right? What would you do if there is a blowout in this lower area, right? So what we can do is effectively simulate that. This is more contriving, I understand, but we're going to reposition that division there. And then what we can do here is I can move this infantry division back in a square and simulate what would happen if the enemy blew up, your defenses, right? So we will try to give them some savage crossfire. I've got these archers following me. And all I'm doing is essentially moving these other divisions back so that it simulates the enemy bursting the gate. I'm having some UI difficulty. It keeps telling my units to attack. But all I'm doing here is basically moving back our units in a square. What is this? That's the second. Back up, motherfuckers. And these archers here are now going to be able to fire down on the enemy that are attacking our squares. For some reason or other, the enemy's not pouring through the gate. There must be a few of our units jammed in there still. But we should soon get a breach. I'm not really sure what's going on, to be honest. Okay, the enemy is pouring in. They look like they're bottled up down there. Oh, here we go. Okay, so they just started fucking pouring in. Good. We may even lose. But that's all right. This is, this is at this stage just practice. And fuck yeah, we like a challenge, right? There's thousands. It seems like thousands of Batanians. In fact, let me sit up in my chair here. Thousands of Batanians just poured through the gate. and our reinforcements are coming in. This is going to be messy, but let's do this, right? We want to challenge. In fact, you can hear all of a sudden the tenor of my voice. It's like I got woken up because it was kind of a sleepy siege, and now we have a real challenge. So I'm dragging archers with me. I'm accidentally blocking arrows without looking, like Neo. But look at these archers. These archers are totally eating. They're just firing into the back of the enemy here while they attack our squares. Now, the squares will eventually get whittled down, but I have the 3rd Division here just standing here waiting to attack, right? So we send these shock troops in. This top area is defended over here by the 4th Corps. They're doing a magnificent job. As the English would say, they're doing a brilliant job, right? Straight away they're defending. And all these fucking goobers here. There's loads of enemies, right? We'll use all our British words. There's loads of enemies in the courtyard, but we're going to leave loads of carcasses when we're done with this, right? I've got, I don't really want to change anything. I've got this 5th Division. What I'd like to do is get archers right where I'm standing. So I'm going to continue to sort of try to figure this out. The 2 different squares are getting swallowed up. I'm just kind of moving them away so they die slower. But look at the death span, right? Our high-level archers just raping everything in sight. I often wonder, right, if our females listening to that, hearing that is like this horrendous concept. Obviously, I despise rape and rapists and stuff like that. But maybe it's just a term that we use here, and they can forgive me. Obviously, I'm sensitive to that issue. All right, so that's it. We got this 3rd Division just ready to go, bottling the enemy up at that stairs so these archers can continue to fire down. Right, the 3rd Division roars as they charge into battle. I want to split an archer division. These guys up here at the top are standing there. A lot of those guys can't shoot. I might be able to get troops to the other side, but it makes the most sense that I would pull some of these guys and put them right next to me, right? I can basically just split these guys into a new division and then line them up. Oh shit, are we freezing up here? I don't know if that's the enemy routing. Don't stop on me now, Nelly. I apologize for this. Of course, I shouldn't apologize. It's not my fault. Maybe it's the battle size mod fault. There's so many enemies on the battlefield. The game's having a little bit of difficulty. Just bear with me here. Usually these things clear up in a few seconds once the game figures out it's pathfinding. And other times the game just crashes. We'll see. So it looks okay. So let's stick this 4th Division, right? This mix of skirmishers and archers here overlooking these guys pounding on that square. There's archers on the top up there pounding on the square. I'm going to actually fly down here aggressive style, cutting guys down while we're mid-air. Out of my way, motherfuckers. Of course, here I go again, playing like I'm Zuvan. Now I'm probably going to get killed. Oh shit, run for your life, dude. Being chased. Get out of here, recruits. 3rd Division is told to attack. I'm going to get mauled here again. I think the pathfinding really might be trying to rout. I think the enemy is like, fuck me, man. This is a bad situation for us. And if they do rout, you know, hopefully you guys saw enough in this episode. One way or the other, this episode is going to end soon because this enemy is being skewered. Now, it's still tenuous too, right? If I lose that upper platform up there, if the 4th Corps melts, we might have a problem there. I see what's going on here. They got archers shooting through the door. So let's get units out of line of sight here, right? If they're shooting at us through the door and I've got infantry here, what we want to do is obviously move our troops out of their line of sight, make them come to us. They're the ones that are sieging us after all. You guys can stand next to that barrel. I'm sure that barrel feels nice. It's burning on a 110-degree day in the desert. Help our guy out here. Die, you bastard. Yeah, they still got archers in there shooting at me, motherfuckers. And we may charge, right? These archers I'm not about to let set up in our courtyard. The courtyard is an absolutely blood-fested fucking Halloween costume-looking massacre. I mean, it's just absolutely saturated with blood and body parts. But fortunately, it's most of the enemy body parts, right? We've obviously lost troops, but when you look at them, I see mostly red uniforms. I don't see a lot of yellow. Oh, shit. We might die for a little glory shot here. I love fucking jumping in and killing guys on the jump. We're getting our combat on. And another stall here because the AI is like, holy fuck, we've never fucking faced an onslaught like this. I think they're routing. I think this battle's over. I can't believe it's not over, actually. I mean, they're being pulverized at the gate. We can start just getting aggressive here. I don't do this very often, but I want to speed this episode along. I'm looking up the power bar, and I think we have more troops on the battlefield than the enemy does, so we charge. In we go. We're going to try to blow a hole here. These are mostly archers, so I've got no problem with our shock troops attacking them, right? You can hear our troops. Die, you bastard! And what a massacre. Ugh, it just sounds like it hurts. Look at this fucking huge massacre. And we'll speed it up. I'm doing this more and more often. This is preparation for the campaign because I don't want you guys to be bored to death. This siege is over. I just looked up at the power bar. It's basically a formality at this point. I can't believe the enemy hasn't routed. I don't know if that's because we don't have high-level companions or what. But in my campaign, the enemy would have routed. Oh, shit. We ignobly die at the end here. But it's not going to matter. I'm going to start my spiel, in fact. I hope you guys enjoyed this siege defense here. I'm going to do a handful more of these. I don't know, if I'm going to start a new series for this or what. Eventually, there's a chance that I defend every single city and or castle across of all Calradia. Look at this guy trying to run. I don't think so, dude. Get him! Ah, he lives. But we're gonna definitely pursue sieges until we feel satiated, right? But this is so enjoyable, and what a massacre this was, right? The courtyard, I've never seen what looked like such a gory scene. I mean, there's arms, there's blood splattered on every single wall, there's carcasses laying all over the place, and it's almost all the enemy, right? It just looks like a maelstrom of death happened here, right? They're stacked up like cordwood over here, and then there's our successful defended troops that are mostly in their clean uniforms. Every single guy needs a shower bad because we just had a 18-minute siege in the desert. But victory is always sweet, right? We'll take that soak in a local sandy river or whatever. 900 kills for Yuha's party, and we suffered 150 losses. So, of course, his skills are rocketing. Look at his athleticism. Plus 90, plus 63. Now, I'm not doing these sieges one after another. The next siege you see, he might even gain plus 41 because I'm quite literally just reloading the save game and running around and taking a new castle to then hopefully defend, right? The last one, in fact, I got my list right here. Someone wants to see Charis defended, and someone wants to see Talavel Castle defended. So we'll continue to pursue some castle defense on Tactical Enlightenment. I really have gotten a positive feedback from you fellas saying that you really enjoy tactics and castle defense. And the other comment that I like the most is when you guys come back and say, holy shit, man, we added some tactics, and the royal we added some tactics to our last siege defense. And with your help, man, we defeated a force that I would have lost for sure 3 months ago. Man, that's my favorite kind of comment. I appreciate you fellas. And I appreciate even more that you guys are having success after a little bit of tactical enlightenment. I feel like the Voltaire of combat here, right? We are opening some minds, we are expanding some horizons, and hopefully you guys are having a good time doing so. So with that said, of course, please subscribe if you want to see more from our channel. I'll post these pretty regularly. In fact, these might even be once a week. And with all that said, fellas, I will see you guys next time.